What's up, guys? It's Riley with another episode of Down the Rabbit Hole. Um, Last week we talked about normal saline and sepsis. So, doing all that research, I also came across a lot of associated articles that talked about normal saline and traumas with major bleeding, hemorrhagic shock, things like that. And they were interesting to say the least, right? So, tailoring off of what we talked about last week with the pH value of saline, normal saline being 5.5, right? We remember what the clotting cascade is. Yeah. The main goal of the clotting cascade is to, in layman's term, is to make a scab to stop the bleed, right? What we learn is that turns that fibrinogen into fibrin, right? That's what the clotting cascade's main goal is. Okay, so in order for that to happen, you've got to have several different things. Not a couple, several different things have to fall into place, kind of layer up in order for that fibrin to even be able to attach, or fibrinogen to attach, to convert to fibrin, right? I came across a term that I hadn't heard of, or maybe I forgot about, I don't know, but the prothrombinase complex, which cannot wait to play Scrabble again. But anyways, that is, we've got a compound called prothrombin, which then turns into thrombin, which then turns into fibrinogen, and then fibrin, right? So it layers, okay? That prothrombinase complex is it's pretty much your initial plug, if you will. It's got to be like that. That's has to be there in order for that clot to eventually happen, right? There's a 50% reduction in that prothrombinase complex if the blood pH value is 7.2. Okay? If it gets down to 7.0, there's a 70% reduction. If it gets down to 6.8, there's a 90% reduction. Okay? So if you get the blood pH down to 6.8, which is acidic, right? 10% chance, essentially, of you stopping a bleed, right? And how much of this are we doing ourselves, okay? With that normal saline being 5.5, okay? Now, let's talk about the trauma triad, right? We remember what that is, the lethal three things and the traumas that kill people: hypothermia, acidosis, and coagulopathy, right? So, inability to clot, hypothermia, and acidosis, all right? We've got an acidotic fluid that is only 98.6 degrees, maybe 2 or 3 months out of the year here in Texas. Other than that, they say, depending on what studies you look at, around about 30 degrees less. So about 68 degrees, if you will, 69 degrees is about what your national average of what your normal saline fluid is in the back of an ambulance. Okay. What is your protocol for fluid resuscitation in a trauma? How much are we giving 2 large bore IVs wide open, right? What makes up normal saline? That's sodium chloride, right? Chloride is inverse to bicarbonate in the body. Chloride counteracts bicarbonate. Remember, bicarbonate is our main buffer for the body, inside our body, right? Either our pH, our blood, bicarb, sodium bicarb. Bicarbonate, that's what it does, all right? That's its main job. Sodium chloride and chloride is inverse to that, right? Lactated ringer, on the other hand, has got calcium in it, which has calcium's all over the clotting cascade. Right? If you look at a diagram of the clotting cascade, I promise you're going to see Ca in there. Okay. It's also got sodium lactate, right? Lactated ringer. So it's got sodium lactate. It's rich in that. When sodium lactate gets in the body, it converts to bicarbonate. So it helps the acidosis. It doesn't affect the blood pH as much. Okay. We'll talk about the contraindications probably next week, because I don't want to sound like, oh, LR all day long. But so far, it's been pretty good, right? Um, Remember, acidosis, hypothermia, coagulopathy. So you've got those three things. Normal saline almost takes care of all three of those by itself. So we almost check all three boxes off. All right. Let me know what you guys think. Give me some comments. If you have any other suggestions on some things that keep you up at night, drop them in the comment section as well. Other than that, please stay safe, and we'll see you guys soon.